You know how sometimes a new release just grabs you? Not just because it's like a new bottle, but there's a real story there, a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of the feeling I got straight away with Talisker's announcement of the Wild Blue.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting when a distillery like Talisker with such a, established name does something like this, anchors a release so clearly to a cause. It feels like, well, more than just another limited edition. There's real intent there, it seems.
Exactly. So for this deep dive, we're really getting into Talisker, the Wild Blue. We want to figure out, okay, what makes it different? What's this environmental link all about? Those unique flavors they're talking about, and just why it's got people talking.
Yeah.
And we're looking mainly at Ulrich Bertelson's piece on Whisky.dk. This gives a great starting point.
And what really stands out right away is that core partnership, isn't it?
Totally.
It doesn't seem like just a nod towards sustainability. It seems properly baked into the whole thing.
Precisely. The Wild Blue, it's a limited edition, yeah, but with a super clear mission, environmental sustainability. And they've teamed up with the Blue Marine Foundation. You know them. They do amazing work restoring threatened coastal habitats here in the UK.
And what's quite striking is the level of commitment. It's not just talk, is it? There's a solid financial pledge there.
That's right. Talisker's donating £3 from every single bottle sold globally.
Wow.
Which adds up. It totals 112,608.
That's quite something.
Yeah. And it's not just going into some vague pot. It's earmarked for specific stuff, like rebuilding oyster reefs down in the Solent, southern England. So you really see where it's going.
Right. Which makes it, well, one of the more significant sort of direct donations tied to a single release that we've seen from a distillery, maybe?
Could be.
It suggests a real dedication, beyond just the marketing angle. And when you think about Talisker, where it comes from, yeah, the Isle of Skye, the sea is just part of their DNA, isn't it? So this collaboration feels very, I don't know, natural, organic.
Yeah. Speaking of Skye and that whole maritime thing, it's fundamental to Talisker, always has been. And it definitely plays into this release. But the Wild Blue also does something, well, really quite different in how it's made. A big twist.
Okay, yeah, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. For the first time ever for Talisker, this whiskey spent 16 months finishing in red wine casks. And not just any red wine casks, ones from South Africa's coastal regions.
Wow, okay, that is different.
It's a pretty bold step for a distillery with such a strong defined character.
It really is.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder, what the thinking was behind that shift.
Yeah.
But those casks, they must add a whole new layer, right? You've got that classic Talisker sea spray and smoke.
Yeah.
Meeting South African red wine notes.
And the tasting notes, they really paint a picture, don't they? The aroma, they say fresh sea breeze, smoky oak, but then these dark berry notes from the wine.
Intriguing combo.
It really is.
And the taste. Sounds like it follows through. Described as soft, but complex. You get the sweet smoke, definitely Talisker.
Right.
But then red fruit from those casks and little hints of salt and spice reminding you where it's from.
And the finish sounds great, too. Long, warm, salty, classic Talisker there, but with this sort of light wine-like edge.
Nice.
It suggests, real depth, maybe takes it somewhere a little different from their usual stuff. And it's bottled at a decent strength, too, 48.2%.
So it sounds like they're not just ticking the environmental box. They're also putting out a genuinely unique, potentially really good whiskey.
Exactly.
And that commitment, the sustainability thing, it goes beyond just the Blue Marine Foundation partnership, right?
Oh, absolutely. The packaging itself is, well, a very clear statement. This isn't just superficial greenwashing. They seem to have made some pretty big changes to cut their impact.
Yeah, like the bottle. No paper box.
Right.
Instead, the design, the ceramic bits, it's directly on a bottle made from 100% recycled glass. That's quite a move away from the usual whiskey presentation.
And the numbers they quote are pretty impressive. A 74% cut in co-euro emissions from packaging.
74%.
Yeah. And 21% less water used in production. That's the kind of concrete data that shows, they're serious.
It's also good they're building on what they did before, like with the Wilder Seas release.
Yeah.
Shows it's not just a one-off.
Consistency.
Yeah, but this Wild Blue thing, it seems to go even further than the bottle and the production side.
Yeah. How do you connect a whiskey even more strongly to a cause like this in a sort of active way? Their answer seems to be the Wild Blue Challenge.
Exactly. So June 6th, 2025, they're holding this event down at Joss Bay in Margate.
Okay.
It's going to involve some well-known faces and swimmers apparently taken to the water.
And it's not just for show either. For every single kilometer swum in that challenge, Talisker's donating another 250 pounds to Blue Marine.
Wow, that's brilliant.
It really is. It's a great way to raise more money and, get the word out about the cause. It shows the commitment goes beyond just selling the whiskey.
It totally reinforces that whole message, doesn't it? That this whiskey is tied into something bigger responsibility for the oceans, which, let's face it, have always been part of the Talisker story.
Yeah, coming from Skye, it just makes sense. That connection feels really genuine.
And, to really get why this matters, it's probably worth just quickly remembering Talisker itself, the distillery.
Oh, for sure. It's got such a long, impressive history, not some newcomer.
Definitely not. A real heavyweight in Scotch whiskey, founded way, way back in 1830.
1830?
Yeah, by two brothers, Hugh and Kenneth McCaskill. And it's just beautifully located, isn't it? In Carbost, on Skye, you can almost feel the history.
And what's really cool is how much the place itself seems to shape the whiskey. They still use local water from Knocknan Sparrag.
The Hill of the Cormorants. Love that name.
Yeah, that direct link to the local water, the land. It's got to be part of what makes it taste the way it does.
And they stick to traditional ways too, right? Still using those copper pot stills.
Mm-hmm.
Plus the aging in oak casks, often old sherry or bourbon casks. That's where you get those layers on top of the smoke and spice.
And for anyone listening who might fancy a trip, they do have a visitor center and tours. A great way to, soak it all in firsthand. See the landscape.
Definitely. Now, okay, here's something a bit random, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But our source material, the blog post, it mentioned Talisker and cooking.
Cooking with Talisker. That's
Yeah.
unexpected,
Yeah.
especially with its peaty profile.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But apparently it's a thing. There's this cookbook, Mad Med Pro Miller, translates roughly as Food with Alcohol,
Okay.
by a chap called Jan Ort. And it actually features a recipe using Talisker.
No way. What kind of dish are we talking about?
Get this. Skye Torsk med Talisker whiskey, mas, grov sinep og rosenkål, which is smoked cod with Talisker whiskey, mashed potatoes, coarse mustard, and Brussels sprouts.
Smoked cod, Talisker. I can actually kind of see that working. The smokiness complementing the fish.
Exactly. Sounds pretty amazing, actually. Apparently the recipe's out there if you're feeling brave in the kitchen.
It just shows, doesn't it, the versatility of a really well-made whiskey like Talisker. It's not just for sipping neat.
True. And look, we can't really talk Talisker without circling back to Skye itself. The blog post really stresses the fantastic and rugged nature of the island.
Oh, yeah.
And how tied it is to the whiskey's soul almost.
The environment is like the silent partner in the distillery, isn't it? The landscapes, the salty air blowing through the warehouses, it all plays a part.
Think about it, those incredible mountains, the Quillins,
Isn't it?
the cliffs, like Kilt Rock just plunging down, the locks, the fairy pools, even the beaches, like Talisker Beach itself. It's such a unique, powerful place.
And don't forget the weather, that famous, fast-changing Scottish weather.
Yeah.
That has to affect how the whiskey matures over the years. It's a whole microclimate.
Absolutely. It's just so clear that Talisker is Skye in a bottle.
Hmm.
So, okay, we've covered a lot on the Wild Blue. What's the main takeaway for you, for our listener?
Well, I think if you're someone who appreciates a whiskey that, has more going on than just the liquid, if you like a story, a unique flavor profile, thanks to that unusual red wine cask finish, and you care about genuine environmental effort,
Yeah.
then Talisker the Wild Blue is definitely one to look out for. You'll still get that Talisker smoke, but maybe think of it layered with like dark fruits you might get from a sherry cask, but with that distinct red wine twist.
Yeah, exactly. You're getting a really interesting dram, but you're also, actively supporting a good cause.
Yeah.
Helping the Blue Marine Foundation with their work. That feels good, right?
It does.
And Whisky.dk was mentioned as a place you might find it if you're looking.
So yeah, summing up our deep dive, Talisker the Wild Blue, it's limited edition, single malt, big focus on sustainability through that Blue Marine partnership. Got that innovative 16-month finish in South African red wine casks, and really eco-conscious packaging. It's definitely a whiskey with purpose and character.
Well said. And maybe here's a final thought for you listening. How much does knowing the story, the origin, the ethos behind something like this actually change how you experience it? How much does it add to the enjoyment?
Interesting question.
Yeah, makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other things we use or enjoy might have similar cool stories or commitments hiding behind them, just waiting to be found, like this Talisker?
Definitely food for thought, or maybe drink for thought in this case.
Until our next deep dive, cheers.